Sweet. Okay, so welcome to the Coding with Codex half-term code camp, the last day, day 5, with me and Becca today. Again, guys, just a few of the standard rules and stuff. If you've got a question or anything like that, please let us know in the chat. We will, Becca will be there today to help you guys out while I'm delivering the lesson. And yeah, pretty much just stay on mute. And then at the end, make sure you either have your parents with you now or you can bring them in at the end because we've got a little message for them from the main team. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be following a live coding session, which means that there's not going to be me going through a PowerPoint and giving you concepts to understand. We've already learned all the fundamental building blocks. We're just going to be coding today and making a little game. So we're going to understand a little bit more about loops, but again, you've already covered loops, so you guys should be pros at that by now. And we're going to understand a bit on conditional statements. So that is something that we've not yet covered, but it will make sense as soon as we get to. And we're going to be importing random, which we did for the dice roll game, if you're familiar. So running our Python code. So can you guys just open up the online IDE that I'm sure Becca's put in the chat already? So yeah, while that's on, I'm just gonna have to stop the thing for a second. So if everyone can just get that up. Bear with me. Sorry, Becca, this is gonna mute you. Okay, cool. Cool. Sweet. So yep, everyone pop that link in. All right, cool. You guys can hear me okay, right?
I can.
Okay, perfect. Becca, that should be all right. Sweet. So today will be a little bit different. We are going to be doing a live coding session where we'll be making a game in the session. So this is really good because we have a big example here on bringing all the concepts we've learned over the past few weeks, or past few days, sorry, and then putting it all together. So we've learned a lot in a short space of time. Now let's put it all together and make a game. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave the PowerPoint there because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so I want you guys to get onto the online Python IDE and delete everything inside here. And when you've done that, I want you to give me a big thumbs up. All right, I can see Omar's giving me a thumbs up. Well done. Remy giving me a thumbs up too. Great stuff.
Guys on the chat, that turtle thing was great, but make sure, because this is live coding, you want to be able to keep up and make sure that you're paying attention. So just make sure you're all focusing.
Okay, so first of all, what we're going to be doing is we're going to try and get a random number, right? Because what we want to do is we're going to make a game where we have a set number, and then what we're going to do is we're going to try and guess towards that number, okay? So actually, let's not go with a live number. I want you guys to create a variable, and I want you to put a number inside. Any number between 1 and 10. So let's see if you guys remember how to make a variable and put a number between 1 and 10 inside said variable. Okay, so that is your task. So have a go. And then give me a big thumbs up when you've managed to do that. So remember, you're creating a number variable that has a number inside. Well done. I can see 1 thumbs up already. Sorry, I can't see the names, but I can definitely see 1, 2 thumbs up.
We've got a few dons in the group chat as well.
Great stuff. Remember to explain to your parents as you go along what you're doing so they understand what we're making, what each bit is. Explain to them what a variable is as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write number equals number between 1 and 10. I'm going to go 8. Okay, so number equals 8. Oh, oh, sorry about if it does that, just delete it and just enter 8 again, and then just press, and then just click away and then press enter. Okay, so if it does that, write the number 8. You can see it's trying to do something. Just click away and it should let you still type the number. Okay. Cool. So number equals 8. What we're going to do now is we want to be able to run our program multiple times, okay? So we want to be able to ask the user, right, to keep going until they guess a number right. So in order to do that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a while loop, okay? So it's similar to the for loop we learned. So it's a loop that'll let us make the code go over and over and over again until we want to stop it. So what I want you guys to write is I want you to write your while true statement. So while, open your brackets, and then true, okay? And what this does is it's going to repeat the code however many times we want until we meet a break condition, okay? Which we'll explain afterwards. So how's everyone getting along?
We've got nothing in the chat.
Nothing in the chat. Good to hear. So is everyone okay? Have you guys written your while true statement? Yep. Remember, you have to have a colon and then the next line will be indented. Okay. So make sure you've done all of that. Okay. Now, while your code is indented, what I want you to do, now we're going to go back to something we learned in lesson 1. I want you to ask the user to enter a number input. So it needs to be an integer input, and I want you to store it in a variable called guess, because that's where we're going to ask the user to guess a number. So let's see if you guys remember how to do that. And if you've managed to do that, give me a thumbs up. If not, don't worry, just be patient and I'll go through how we do that in a sec. Vincent's giving me a big thumbs up. Well done. Yep, another thumbs up there. Becca, do you want to read some names out? Because I can't see anyone's names.
My thing's quite small as well. I've got Omar with a thumbs up as well. Sean.
Great.
Alex is chucking a few into the group chat. Who else we got?
Well done.
Hattie's said done as well.
Alyssa.
I think that's how you say it. Amanon. I actually love seeing all the different names.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I
say it wrong, just let us know in the chat how to say it.
Okay. Anne's done. Naomi. Cool, guys.
All right, let's go. So remember, to get our integer input, what we're going to write is we're going to write guess equals, and we're going to write int, open our brackets. Oops, sorry, someone's joining. There we go. In, open our brackets, input, open our brackets again, speech marks, and then here we write a question. So I'm going to write, please enter a number. And this is what the user is going to see. Remember, what I want you to do, make sure none of you run your program right now. It will crash the site. It will crash your, might crash your computer as well. So don't run the program. Just keep it there. That's it. Because we've not got a break condition. So this while loop will keep going forever. It's called an infinity loop. Okay. So we need to make sure we don't run our program yet. Cool. Oh, we're having more people join by the second. Great stuff. So what were you saying? Sorry, Becca?
No, sorry. I was going to say answer someone, but I'm just going to answer it in the chat. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to ask the user, we want to test our program to see whether our number is bigger or less than the guess, right? So what we want to do is we're going to write an if statement. So this is something we haven't covered yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to write if our guess, we're going to write it in brackets just to keep the condition separate. We're going to write if guess is greater than number. Okay, so that is our first thing. So if what the user enters is greater than the actual number itself, so that would be something like 9 or 10, because actually I'm going to write here between 1 and 10. Okay, perfect. So now here, remember after my if statement, I'd have a colon as well. So that would be something like 9 or 10. What do we need to tell the user? If they've guessed a number that's higher, remember they can't see what the number is. What would we need to tell them to do for the next time? What kind of number? Would we tell them to guess a higher number or a lower number? Okay, hold said smaller, smaller, lower. Yeah, well done. Yeah, you guys are really, on it. Okay, now you guys know how to do a print statement. So I want you to write a print statement and tell the user to guess a lower number. So let's see how everyone gets along with that. Okay, we get it, lower. Awesome stuff. Let's leave it there, guys. All right, now have a go at doing it in the code. Remember, keep telling your parents. I can see a lot of you guys have your parents there and they're all smiling, looking at you guys working. So tell them what you're doing as you go along so they know exactly what's happening. Although a lot of you told me your parents are programmers, so they probably think this is really easy stuff.
Oh, wow. Is that actually true?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, we had a few people say yesterday. I'm not sure if they're all here today, but if your parents are programmers, do you want to just let me know in the chat if your parents are programmers? Mine are, okay?
Manon is, there's all. Go on.
We've got programming.
I'm already one. Oh, fair.
Yeah, we also have parents in as well. Dad's in Japan.
Dad's in Japan. That's cool.
My mum is. You see?
Wow. Remy just messaged me privately saying, sort of, he makes websites. That's definitely requires some coding.
Mm-hmm.
I can confirm, having tried to make my own website this last few months with university.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Not smooth sailing. Okay, cool. So now I'm just going to demonstrate how we do the print statement to anyone who's not familiar. Remember, we're going to write our print statement. In our speech marks, we're going to write, please enter a lower number. Now, okay, brilliant. What we want to do is we're going to now say to the user, okay, let's do an elif statement, okay? So an elif statement basically like saying, if something is greater than something, do this. If something is something, if something else is the case, do something else. But instead of saying if something else, we're going to write elif, which is a combination of else and if, and we're kind of mushing it together to say elif. And now we're going to write the opposite. So we're going to say if our guess is lower than our number. Okay. Now, what would the user write? What would the user have to say? What would we have to say to the user to guess? Would we say enter a higher number or a lower number? There you go.
Yep. Higher. Higher.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone seems to have caught on.
All right, awesome stuff. Okay, sweet. Let's leave it there in the chat. Now have a go at writing your print statement. Okay. Now write your print statement to say enter a higher number. Ooh, we're nearly hitting 60 on the participants.
I know. That's actually so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Zara, do you mean the link to the code that's done so far or just the IDE? That's the IDE. Do you want to maybe share the code?
Yeah.
You're gonna wait.
I'm just gonna finish I just don't want anyone's program to crash, so we'll send it right after the else, okay?
So
just in case you don't want anyone's computer crashing. So we're gonna go print. Please enter a higher number. Okay, perfect. Now we've entered a higher or lower. The only other possibility is that they've guessed the number right. They've guessed the number that's equal to. So because we're guessing the only other possibility, there's no other possibility. It's either higher, lower, or equal to. We're just going to write else. Okay, we don't need to put a condition in with our else. We never put a condition in with our else. Else just basically takes into account any other case that's not any of the ifs or elifs. Okay, so this means that they've guessed the number right. Okay, so we're going to write a lovely little message here saying, well done, you got the number right. You guessed correctly. Now, what we need to do is, because they've guessed correctly, okay, you okay there?
Yeah, sorry, I spilled my drink all down me.
So once you've guessed correctly, what we want to do is we don't want to ask the user to guess anymore, right? We want to stop there, okay? They've guessed the number correct. So what we're going to write is we're going to write break, all right? And that'll tell the program to stop completely with what we've done. And there we go. And that is pretty much our code done for today. That is our little higher or lower game, but we've got a little bit more to add. So if the user guessed the number correctly, in here, just before the break statement, what we want to do is we want to print out what the correct answer was. So how would I print out the correct answer? What variable or what would I have to print out? What would I write inside the print statement? You don't need to tell me the print statement, that's fine. But in the chat, you want to let me know what variable I'd print out to show them the answer, the correct answer. Yeah, well done, Teju, Made, Hadi, Nez, Sean, David, Eminem. Yeah, okay, let's stop there. Brilliant. Now, well done, guys. Yes, I know you know it. Okay, cool. Now, all of you guys on the program, have a go, print out the number here. So I'm just going to do it at the same time. So print, remember for our variables, do we have speech marks or no speech marks if we're printing a variable? Yes or no? Yeah, okay, bro. Yep, okay, awesome stuff, bro. Okay, now you guys go on, write it down. Let's leave it in the chat there and let's print out number. So we print number. Or we can write something like the correct number was, and we'll write a comma after the speech mark and we're going to write number. Okay, so the correct number was the comma after the speech mark and then we're going to write number and that'll put it all together. Okay, now you can run your program. So let's have a go with your parents. I want you guys to, if you've got your parents here with you, let them run the program and let them have a guess with their code. So let them enter a number. So Becca, for example, Becca, do you want to read out a number for me?
Sorry, as in no one's entered anything into the chat.
As in just pick one yourself.
Oh, pick a random number. Oh, sorry, 3. Let's have that go with that.
Let's go with that.
Guys, if your code's not working, just send it into the chat so I can try and help you out with that.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to show how to do that. One sec.
Okay, so Elizabeth, your code, it's just you've got to delete the first bracket on your while statement. There's just one bracket too many at the very beginning of your while statement. That should fix that.
Okay, so what you need to do to share your code with Becca if you're struggling is press the share button here, the orange one, copy this link and send it into the chat. Okay, don't copy it from the top here, copy it from the share button and then she'll be able to help you out just like Arjun did yesterday and how she was doing on Monday. Yeah. Cool. So now parents, if you've managed to guess the number right, can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah, I can see 2 thumbs up already. Well done from Omar and Vincent's parents there. Okay, yep, I can see another thumbs up. Sorry guys, I cannot see names. Is there any way I can try and see everyone's name? Nope. Becca, is everything okay on the chat?
Tons of people sending in their thing, so I'm just trying to get through all of those as quickly as possible. There's just a few indentation errors, stuff like that. So little things, guys. Do you want to run through indentation maybe, just to make sure that everyone understands?
Absolutely. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to send my code in the chat. So before you send your code to Becca, try and have a go yourself, okay? But before that, I need to figure out how to get the chat back because it's somehow all the panels disappeared for me. Oh. All right, bear with me 1 second while I find out how to enable the...
Someone's asking as well about trying to make it a random number. So I think we get onto that in a sec.
We do, absolutely.
So don't stress about that because I feel like your parents might have found that a bit too easy. Let's see.
Okay, it's the escape button. Okay, brilliant. Okay, I found it. All right, sweet. So before you go ahead and send your code into Becca, try and look at my code here and see where yours is different, okay? Try and self-diagnose, try and debug your problems yourself, like a programmer would, okay? Again, indentation. So Python is very, very big on its syntax, okay? Its punctuation, grammar rules, and its indentation, okay? So if we have a colon, if we have a block, so I like to call these blocks, I'm pretty sure a lot of people call them blocks. So a block is something like a while loop that finishes with a colon. Same with an if statement, it's another block, it finishes with a colon. Anytime you have code that finishes with a colon, you need to indent your next line. Usually in this IDE and most IDEs, it will automatically do that for you. So if after an if statement, it doesn't automatically go indented, you need to make sure you've got your colon, because as soon as Python sees the colon, it will indent the next line, regardless of where you put the colon. So if I put a colon here on the next line, you can see after the break statement, it still does the same thing. It shouldn't, but it does. Okay, so you need to make sure you have your colons there and try and fix your problems yourself. Yeah, let's look at globs quickly together on the chat. Here we go. Yeah, here you go. As who was it that correctly pointed out? Was it Alex that correctly pointed out? Yep. Remember here, you need a bracket. You're just missing a little bracket there, and that's it, right? It's just a simple bracket mistake. So have a little go yourself and try and fix it, yeah? Just compare your code to mine exactly on the page. If you can't spot it, it's sometimes easier if you ask your parents to spot it for you, because it's sometimes like you can't always spot your own mistakes. And then as soon as someone else sees it, they see it a lot quicker. Okay, so again, please don't send your code directly to me. I'm not going to be able to help you out. Becca's the one that's on the chat and she'll help you out. Becca, where are you with the people? Who are you on now?
You just on Glob, right?
Yeah, just on Glob.
Okay, cool. I think I'm just catching up with, I'm just on Shay now.
Okay, bro, I'm just going to quickly look at Michelle's then together on the screen. Okay, Michelle, let's have a look at yours. Here we go. Here's your program for this. Okay, here you got your indentation problems. Can you see you've got guess here, but then if is indented. If is in line with the guess. So what we need to do is we need to bring our if back out, and then we've got a massive gap here in our brackets. This is not going to make a difference, but it's not very good readable wise. So there we go. We'll bring that together. Now, if we run our program, you can see it works fine. Okay, it's just a matter of you getting your indentation and your everything in the right place. Okay, let's have a look. I'm gonna have a look at Remy's now on screen. Okay, Remy, you've got a bit of your problem with your code. Here we go. Your guess needs to again be right against indented. Okay, it needs to be really indented. The if statement needs to be indented along with the guess. The print will be indented further. This will be indented again in line with the if, and this is not if, this is elif, okay? So, and I'm gonna send this one, and then this one needs to be here. Okay, so you need to make sure yours is exactly the same as mine. If you're writing different things, then it's not gonna work. So it's if, elif, okay?
When you're finding issues with your code, don't forget that the output will tell you where there's an error in your code. So that's really helpful. So just go to the line where there's an issue and you'll normally be able to figure it out yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So yeah, Remy, you have quite a bit of fixing to do with yours. So just go through and have a look at mine and you'll be able to do that. Well done to everyone who's trying to help other people as well in the chat. That's really good stuff that you're doing there while you're waiting.
Yeah, that's actually awesome.
Okay, remember, if you need to share your code, it's the share button and copying this, not from the top of your browser. Okay. Okay.
Quite a lot. What I'm seeing tons and tons is lots of people have just one too many brackets. And if you just look at the line where it's saying where the output is telling you that there's an error. So for example, let's see who that was. Toddy, I think it was.
Shall I just pop Toddy's up on the screen so you can?
Oh, is that? Okay, yeah. So if you just look at, if you run that code for me, brilliant. So you see it says right there on line 6, there's an error. So if you just go to line 6, then just read through it and you can easily spot that there's an extra bracket there.
And you can see Python even points to the bracket for you. And it literally points there with a little hat saying that's the bracket, that's extra.
Sometimes, to be fair, sometimes that pointer is really confusing. And I used to get so confused by it because it would point at something and I wouldn't understand what it was pointing at. So yeah. Okay,
and here we go. Here's another little mistake. After print here, you're missing another bracket. Again, it says here, syntax, missing parentheses in call to print. So you need a little bracket there to fix your code as well, okay? If you guys are finished, can you try and make the number a random number? You should be able to do this as well with what we did in the dice game. Yeah, try and do it yourself, but don't put how you're doing it in the chat, okay? So Anne, I'm just gonna pop your screen. Okay, Anne, you can see there's a lot of indentation problem with yours because you've not indented the same as me. So you need to make sure all your code is indented in line with what I've written. So guess is if, elif, and else need to be in line with each other and with the guess. The prints need to be in line with each other as well. Here you go. And now if you run your program, it's fine. It's just your indentation. So everyone pay attention to your indentation, okay? They all need to be in line with each other. Okay. Glob, let's look at yours. If you've done the thing, by the way, if you've done a random number, do you want to put your thumbs up for me so I can see that?
Can you just, last thing is, could you just make sure that everyone knows how to copy their code? Because Alex keeps on sending just the IDE link.
Yeah, okay. Again, one more time, share button, copy this link here and then send it. Okay.
So, another thing, just another little challenge, because I feel like quite a few people have said that they've done the random thing. Should we try and get them to maybe limit the number of guesses?
Absolutely. That is the next thing we're going to do. We're going to try and limit the guesses. But first, I'm going to show you how to do random. So remember, it's because you're missing a bracket here, Glob. You're just missing a bracket after the input. That was your mistake. Okay, let's go back onto mine. So to make a random number, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this lower. And we're going to first have to import random. So import random right at the top, because without random, we're not going to be able to get a random number. Okay, so remember, we've done this before. So get a random number. If you remember before, we looked at two things. We looked at random.choice to get a random thing from a list, and random.int to get a randint to get a random integer. So this time we're going to get a random integer. And again, random.randint, and we're going to write a number between 1 and 10. So we're going to write 1, 10, okay? And that'll pick a number between 1 and 10. Now, if I run that, please enter a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to go 3. Please enter a higher number, okay? So let's say I go 4, 5. Please enter a higher number, 7. Higher, wow, it's quite high. 8, nope, 9. Okay, the correct number was 9. Okay, that took me quite a few guesses. But now you can see you have no clue what the number is. So do you want to try that with your code?